Hello and good evening. It's Manu here. It's actually very late at night, past midnight, but I still wanted to make this little video about gratitude and being good to others. You see, before making this video I was on my bed and I was scrolling Facebook and Instagram of all places. But this time I wouldn't call it doom scrolling, I would flip the word and call it mood scrolling. I was watching these two content creators especially. One is called Sam's POV and the other one is called New York Turk. And what they do is they go to these different restaurants in the States, restaurants that are struggling. They go there unannounced and make honest reviews. And if they like the food and the owners of the place, the people watching the videos get influenced to support them and show their appreciation to those restaurants. And those content creators, just by being there, they can have a big effect on other people's life. Of course, there are these nuances to this conversation of whether a thing is moral or not, and if you're just honking your own horn by doing those actions. But maybe it can be a good thing for everyone in the end. And it seems that I so often end up being intertwined in these inner dialogues or monologues, asking myself if I am doing good deeds just so I could get something in return. Things like that. Whether all of our actions are like selfish in nature in the end. But I feel like I have changed enough and learned enough that I can be honest and authentic to myself and to others. And that has helped me to see that, in all honesty, I feel like I almost never have these selfish intentions in my mind when I'm doing good deeds. But the picture is so much bigger than these small actions and interactions. In my workplace, the museum, we are currently having an exhibition by a pretty big name, Anish Kapoor, and that has garnered a lot of new visitors. And on my work day, I will see more than 1,000 people daily, each day. And I get to have these interactions with so many of them in different situations. And the interactions are almost always very short, but I have grown to love them so much. there is this magic in the air when you can share your passion with others and they can share their passion with me. And at least once a day I get this tingling sensation in my body just by talking with another individual. Whether it's about art or some mundane things, whether the services that we have, anything. And in those moments there is this immaterial magic. I am not asking for anything from the other person, and they are not asking anything from me, but we are just sharing this moment. And by sharing the moment we are unlocking a part of humanity. And I have so much gratitude for that. For all these little moments that we can share. And it just somehow feels that like we remember what it is to be a human in those little moments. And I suppose I feel the feeling of reciprocation, being authentic, that both people are feeling better after these interactions. Sometimes another person just wants to be heard. Sometimes they want to be understood. And I also feel that it comes so naturally to be good to other people when the intentions in the interaction are pure. It feels weird and maybe not the best thing to talk about your own good deeds in general, because like in those videos it's not about talking but it's about actions, and actions do speak louder than words. But I still want to share a little bit about some things happening in my life, just to give some context. Because I feel like past year or so I have been able to be so much more intertwined in a good way, in a positive way, with my friends, some random individuals in my vicinity and family, and being able to help others, like mowing the lawn of my father's place or helping my neighbor in the yard works, small things like that. And I've grown to love it more and more, because it almost never takes more from you than it actually gives. And what those good deeds give you, it's not always an act of reciprocation in the moment, but it's bigger than that. The other person doesn't need to be good to you in return just because you're doing a favor. But another person in your life can turn out to be an angel, a helping hand in a time of need. And this framework of zooming out from these interactions and seeing all of your life as a whole can be, at least for my own life, I do feel that it can be helpful to notice that there are these angels in your life in different chapters. Like for my life, I have had years of misery and especially focusing on the misery, depression and mental health, whatnot. And then there are these friends who are helping you during those hard times, helping you carry you over the mountain, figuratively. At least in my experience, whenever I felt bad, it's a very holistic feeling that takes up a lot of your processing power. And it's harder to be empathetic towards other people in those moments, because we're just so focused on our own self-actualization, so to say. And then there are those people who help us on those moments. And then afterwards, it's very easy to think that, like, how could I ever be able to repay them? And start to feel embarrassed or that we are indebted. But when we think of the human experience as a whole, we can see that we can be the helping hand, we can be the angels to other people in different times. When there's someone in our life who needs that help. And I have been very grateful and blessed to have a large number of people in my life, a large friend group and family that has been there for me. And hopefully I've been good to them in return. But outside of that, I just want to be good to everyone. And it's not even about being good to those who deserve it, because who are we to decide? Who are we to be the judge? It gives a more egotistical tinge on this humanity. Of course, there are those people who really try to make us think otherwise. Those who are very selfish and do bad deeds, immoral deeds. But then it's more about who we are focusing the energy towards to, and understanding our own boundaries. What are we willing to do? And working inside those factors. But yeah, this turned out to be a bit of a ramble. But I guess I just wanted to say that right now, I don't know of a better feeling than being good to others. In all those tiny little interactions, and in the bigger ones as well. And currently I feel that being good to others It's not creating this giant pendulum swing that Ren is talking about in the High Ren song. That has been a part of my life at least, focusing on those giant ecstatic moments and then ending up collapsing afterwards. Instead of the pendulum swing, it is this flow state, a dance in time, where we choose our partners, who we share the dance with. This dance of humanity, and I have this very optimistic feeling about humanity's future in the midst of all these global crises even, because I truly believe, seeing thousands of people daily in real life, I truly believe that we're all part of this wholeness. And in the core of this wholeness is this unity, compassion, things that we need to thrive. And these sometimes selfish feeling acts will serve an altruistic purpose, because all of us, every single individual, no matter how twisted we have turned out to be, or how good, everyone deserves understanding, a second chance. And I want to thank you all for watching my videos. I know that I have been a terrible YouTuber because I have this natural disdain for catering to audiences, and that has been probably a symbolic thing for me about freedom and someone taking away my freedom. But I've been so self-absorbed. But still, there are some of you who are still watching me, and I really am grateful for that. I don't know. I guess I just wanted to say these things, no matter how silly or naive they turn out to be. But right now I'm truly feeling this utmost gratitude towards humanity and the power of goodness. All these good deeds are like putting seeds on the ground. We don't always see their effect immediately, but a lot of those seeds turn out to be pretty flowers for all of us to see. So with that, I thank you for listening and watching, and I wish you a good night, a lovely sleep. Remember to be good to yourself and to others. Bye bye.